Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Dizer. I'm here with my Damien Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's get straight to the news. We've got so many great things to cover today. Well, first I'd like to talk about my experience recently with exercise with oxygen therapy.
Yes.
I mean, you're probably an expert on this now because I cannot stop talking about it. And I've just been filling your brain with my experiences.
I can say that I've definitely been witness to the positive effects.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's just incredible. I love it so much. At our clinic, we have it's called EWOT, Exercise with Oxygen Therapy. It's like what cyclists would use to train for the Olympics. You're on a bike, you have an oxygen mask set up to your face. It's set on a certain setting, 10 liters a minute, and you just have free-flowing oxygen. And you're working out on the bike, and then you do trials of high-altitude training. So you have 30 seconds of high-altitude training 3 to 5 times over the course of 15 minutes. And in these 30 seconds, you have very low oxygen. There's a bip. You have to pull it in. And it's really, really hard. We track heart rate, oxygen saturation in the blood. And then after those 30 seconds, each time you get a full rush of oxygen to the brain while you're working out. And the research is really, really good for the alveolar uptake of oxygen in the lung for 24 to 48 hours afterwards, and then plasma oxygen levels are increased for the same amount of time following the therapy. Mm-hmm. And I can attest to it 100%.
As can I.
You sleep better, you have more energy, you feel more awake, but what I really notice is that I can access deeper areas of the lung, and that may just be something that's specific to me, but I mean, people are loving it. I've got people coming in every single day for it.
So who would it be indicated for?
Well, it's used for athletes training
Mm-hmm. for
whatever event they're training for. Anyone looking to improve their cardiovascular function. So it's used in optimal wellness in that sense, and that's why I use it. Mm-hmm. Having a higher oxygen level in the plasma is really healthy at this rate because the body will manage 10 liters a minute really well. Mm-hmm. Having these levels is really healthy for all the cellular processes in the body. So it's good in optimal wellness in that sense. But I'm also using it in certain lung diseases, people recovering from smoking for 30 years. And also it's being used in cancer a bit. It's being used in a whole host of things. Wow. To try and stimulate the immune system, to increase energy, to improve mood. And I love it.
So the difference between doing this on a bike and going to like one of those oxygen bars are...
Well, at an oxygen bar, you'd sit with a mask on at the same dose, because that's the standard dose, for a certain period of time, and you just enjoy the oxygen. Mm. This is getting the body's metabolism rolling. It's getting lung function involved. Mm. So what happens is you're training the lungs to want to pull in more oxygen, because they're doing those 30-second rounds of very, very low oxygen, and you notice at the end of the 30 seconds you need to flip it on because you're out of breath, because you're working as hard as you like to work, and I like to push it. But I get people to go at their own pace at first. At the end of 30 seconds, you need oxygen, and then at the end of the whole treatment, when you step outside, your brain just instantly takes a deep breath. It's really interesting.
So are you getting an actual workout from the bike?
An intense workout. Yeah, you break a sweat within about 3 minutes.
Wow. So I wonder if it would be good for fat loss too.
Oh, I would say so. I would say it would be excellent for fat loss because you're speeding metabolism by increasing your oxygen concentration.
Such a short little burst too.
It only takes 15 minutes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And I give people the room afterwards. They usually have 30 minutes with the bike. So people will do the 15 minutes of the oxygen therapy and then just keep up with the cardio for the rest. And do a full 30-minute workout. And I love it so much.
Great.
Yeah. I wanted to bring it up on the show because I can't stop talking about it at home. So
I know.
We might as well get everyone involved.
Exactly. You do make me want to try it.
Do I?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. This is the same thing with all the patients. They're all like, okay, well, I'm going to try it now because you won't.
Well, they don't have to
shut up.
Yeah, but after work, we usually go for about an hour and a half walk just to decompress for the day and center ourselves. And probably every 10 minutes, you bring it up. So it's genuine.
Well, you're outside, you're walking, and then all of a sudden you feel like, oh, man, I'm breathing really well. I can really breathe this good air.
I can say you definitely have had positive benefits from it. Definitely. It's not just...
So it's called EWOT, exercise with oxygen therapy. That's the most common name for it. The company we use is Live02, but there's lots of other ones out there. It's really awesome.
Wonderful.
There's a huge study that we have to talk about today that is absolutely major. It's about lung cancer, and it's about a large study, I believe, that was done in the 90s. We're talking thousands of people reviewing their lifestyle, and some of the information about their diet is finally coming forward. High glycemic diets, so white carbohydrates, white rice, white bread, white bagels, have been associated with a 49% increase in lung cancer risk.
How is that?
So they're finding that after analyzing the diets of thousands and thousands of people, the people who ate the most high glycemic carbohydrates, high sugar diets, ended up with a significant increased risk of lung cancer, not depending on how much they smoked. So aside from smoking, separating that out. And this is a similar risk factor to smoking. I mean, smoking is a higher risk, creates a higher risk percentage, but it's not that much higher. I mean, this is absolutely significant.
Wow. Where's the study?
I'll pull it up for you right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the study will be linked in the show notes below, and the actual source of the study, I found it in the Telegraph, a newspaper from the U.S. or from Europe, and this is the largest study of its kind with consuming a high glycemic diet showing lung cancer risk. Okay, let's find the source here. This is from MD Anderson, the #1 cancer center in the United States.
Oh
That's where the lead author works. Lead author, Dr. Stephanie Malkoyan of the University of Texas, MD Anderson Cancer Center.
So, why would this be lung cancer? Are we going to open this up and it just be more cancer?
For sure. I mean, we know about sugar's impact on cancer cells.
Yes.
I mean, that's obvious. There is some new research that was out yesterday about how, sugar can stimulate IGF-1, insulin growth factor, which causes these rogue cells to grow. But then it's amino acids that they actually take in to use as their substance for their form. So high protein. When you have high sugar, high protein at the same time, not only do you get this increased risk of insulin-like growth factor, which causes this bulking of these rogue cells, but then the protein comes in and it's used as a building blocks for the tumors.
So I guess this is another motivation to concentrate on whole grains.
Exactly.
The white refined stuff is gone.
If you have not switched yet, it's got to
go.
And lung cancer is an easier one to study because we've had so much reporting because we've been tracking cigarette smoking for so long that anyone who comes in with lung cancer, detailed history, detailed documentation, and then all this, if you allow it, all this stuff is available to researchers to review. So someone comes in, they're not a smoker, they review their diets, and this stuff is all put together. So
this goes back to what I was talking about just a little while ago with someone that lives in a small community, and the community has a high percentage of cancer. People are not making it to 80, basically. And most people are dying of cancer. And this person obviously is upset and living there, so they're kind of downtrodden, I'll say. And they kind of made the statement, well, so-and-so did this, and they lived long, and then so-and-so lived healthy, and they're dead, and whatever. And I mean, they were basically saying they didn't believe in lifestyle anymore. But one thing I can say about this community is that, refined foods and white products are still the norm.
For sure. And I'm sure so many communities out there are still dealing with still consuming Wonder Bread, and it's still the number one.
So you can't, not to slander Wonder Bread. I'm sure they have.
They probably have whole grains now. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Let's not go there.
No.
But I'm sure, it can be really overwhelming with all the research that comes out every day. And I think for some people, especially if they haven't, reinvented their lifestyle, if they haven't started, I think that starting from the bare bones can be overwhelming. And I think it could be easy to slip into the victim mode of, well, everything's bad, why bother?
Right.
My uncle smoked and he lived till he was 90, and then my grandmother didn't and she died. Mm-hmm. I get it, but that's just victimization, and that's not owning your power, and especially owning your power for your family. Mm-hmm. We know now that lifestyle, yes, you could still be the healthiest person on earth and get hit by a bus. Mm-hmm. You could be the healthiest woman on earth and, have cervical cancer. Terrible things happen, but why wouldn't you stack the deck in your favor is what I don't understand, that debate. Mm-hmm. I find it really confusing. We're not talking about something small here. We're talking about you either live or not. Mm. So why not stack the deck to, first of all, live optimally? If you make these lifestyle changes and you eat better foods and you avoid things that we know could kill you, you're going to feel better. So your life not only could be longer, you're, living a better quality of life. Mm. So I find it very confusing.
Yes, me too.
Because, and I get it, and I mean, I should get it more than anyone. We've talked about it many times, but my father, he was a wellness warrior. My father was a person that he never drank, he never smoked, he was, into flax seeds and chia seeds and research, aloe vera, he was into everything healthy
trips to the apothecary. I mean, he was
way before anyone else. Mm-hmm. And this is how he lived. He was an extremely healthy, really into alternative medicine and natural living. And he fell victim to cancer that was environmental from asbestos. He was a complete victim. Now, if I wanted to look at that story, I could say, well, he lived healthy and he died of cancer anyway, so to hell with it, I'm going to go smoke and drink and,
and
eat crap. And I'm going to be overweight and I'm going to, who cares? But for me, the lesson in that was, first of all, he's a victim. So, that's just tragic. And from that, I learned, I loved him so much and he wanted to live so bad. And he did so many things to try to continue his life that out of respect for him, I'm going to do everything I can to be the healthiest person on earth and respect what he gave me. He gave me my life, right?
Right.
So the best thing I could do for him is honor this body that I was given, that he contributed to, and then make it the best life I possibly can in his honor, because he can't. And he would want that.
That's such a great perspective.
Right?
I mean, it's powerful when you say it, because you can see that you're developing this power for even promoting healthy lifestyle. It's not just within yourself. I mean,
that's a huge drive for me. Mm-hmm. I think that there are a lot of things we can control. Obviously, he couldn't control that. But there are a lot of things that we can. And even with that he couldn't control, I'll talk about it. It makes people really uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Just last week, I shared something about being a victim of asbestos exposure and, being real about the environmental toxins we're surrounded by and stop being so passé about it. And take these as serious, risks and start pushing companies to be better and start pushing our government to start regulations and, changing our home and our lifestyle to have the best chance we can. Right? And it makes people really uncomfortable, but I don't care.
No, you shouldn't.
Because I've taken on the wellness warrior and I'm going to take it that much further.
Exactly. Well, it's like your comments from yesterday where we were speaking about International Women's Day and the young people using these products more than even adult women.
Yes.
There should be. It only takes 3 days to clear them mostly from the body. This is something the government could be helping with.
Right, but they don't take it seriously because their favorite stars are using these body washes and this is how you're pretty and this is how you're... Mm-hmm. So they don't take it seriously. So, I mean, that's why I'll beat my drum constantly. I mean, and we have I call her my faux niece. She's not really my niece, but she's a niece age, and she's really David's cousin, but she's my faux niece anyway. You know, I harass her all the time about to make sure what she's eating, what she's using on her body. You know, I'm trying to keep her, you know, healthy and like awake to. I'm sure she finds it annoying.
I don't know.
Like, she's adorable.
She looks up to you.
But I think she probably finds it annoying, but I don't care. Because I want her to have the best chance possible.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure she takes it to heart. So, yes, I mean, low glycemic is the way to be. I mean, whole grains, slow digesting carbohydrates. We don't need these bursts of sugar. This is the same thing with, you know, when people eat candy or treats every single day, it's going to be also causing the same upregulation in sugar. When we talk about high glycemic diet, we're talking about people who are eating healthy, who just have the wrong carbohydrates in the meals. Like, so if you're having vegetables and protein and healthy fats, and then for your carbohydrate, if you're having a white rice or white bagel or white bread, then it's going to...
Refined white pasta. Anything that's been through the bleaching, processing, gosh knows what process.
Your blood sugar is going to go up and down really, really quickly, and this insulin-like growth factor is going to be released, and it's going to increase risk of certain things. So, whole grains.
Whole grains. Get your sugar from fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. You know, and don't be afraid of fruit.
Do not be afraid of fruit.
It's just a bunch of malarkey.
The next one on the list here is fasting diets. Fasting diets have been in the news for a while, and I'm interested to hear what your perspective on fasting is, because I know there's many different types, and there's many different celebrities who are promoting them, and even natural health warriors or natural health advocates are promoting certain types of fasting diets and having success with them. I'm wondering to see what you think about them.
Well, I think it depends on the situation. You know, I have done many like juice fasts in my past, and you know, I don't know what the benefit really was. I mean, you get that second, third day high where you, like, everything smells a lot and you're not hungry and you have mental clarity and you get that thing, but I don't know with my body what it did, if it did anything healthy. You know, you go down 10 pounds, but then the first day you eat, you go up, you know, 12. So, I mean, it's not a weight loss method. You know, a lot of people will use it, you know, 3 days, drink juice, and then get in a dress, and they look great, but that's not fat loss. You're just dehydrated, you're just shrinking in. It's not a permanent solution. That being said, I have seen, not pure fasting, but eating a super low-calorie diet, you know, certain days of the week, and then one day eating more. I've seen that physically work for people. What is it doing mentally to them? Like, what is it doing for people that are triggered with emotional eating? You know, what's it doing for long-term fat loss? I can't say anything about that.
No, and yeah, I do wonder about that, and I wonder about the long-term health consequences of because it's sort of like, you know, binge eating, really.
Well, one of the worst...
That's what I would be fearful of. I know that the research shows that it doesn't happen. I was reading this week about how the increase in eating after the 500 calorie for a couple days diet, your increase in eating is only about 10% the next day. For me, I would think it would be way more. I would just, I know it.
Well, what I've witnessed, that's not true. You know, one of the unhealthy behaviors that I witnessed in the fitness competition or model world was people that eat ridiculously strict, crazy, what would be for most people fasting. You know, 6 days of the week, and then 1 day of the week just go nuts.
Yeah.
Or for 6 months or 3 months, just starve.
Yeah, that's hard on the body.
And then just go crazy. And I mean, I saw people in a month to 8 weeks go from, you know, a 120-pound person that's lean, like on the cover of a magazine looking that good, in a 6 to 8 week period, go up to 170 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Someone you'd never consider being fit. I mean, that's crazy. And I think a lot of it, why the research wouldn't be there, is because it's a dirty secret. You know, these people will go into hibernation until their next showing type thing. And I mean, there's a lot more women talking about it now. But still, it's still a dirty secret. And again, not all women do it. I've linked before to one of my girlfriends that's in the fitness model. I don't think she competes anymore, but I'm not sure. She's definitely a fitness model, and she's as real as it gets. Like, if I called her right now to take a picture of her stomach, she has abs. If I called her in the middle of the night, Saturday night, she has abs. Like, she lives it. She's not unhealthy. She's just steady. But there's, she's a diamond in the rough, I think.
Right. Oh, yeah. I wonder about your opinion on when people get in the groove with this 12 hours of, 12 hours of not eating and 8 hours of eating per day? Or how does it work? 16 hours of not eating and then 8 hours of eating, and they get in the groove of doing that every single day. I don't know. It's very, very individualized. That's for sure.
You can't deny that some things work for some people. Like I said, I don't like Weight Watchers, but there are people out there that have had great success with it.
So true.
Are their numbers for overall mental and physical health better? I can't tell you.
I guess we won't know for a long time because this is a...
Well, it depends how they're using it. I mean, I remember this fasting being on Oprah, and this must have been what? She stopped her show how many years ago? So, this must have been back in 2006, 2005, and it was this couple that, they do low calorie. They only eat $500. 500 calories a day.
Oh my goodness.
And they believe that fasting or eating these extremely low calorie diets is equated to longevity, living longer. Remember that?
Right, yes, I do remember that.
That was a big thing. I got so obsessed with looking into it because I just was so confused by it.
Then we had the Blue Zones book and the city of Okinawa.
Right.
After that, that's when that all came out.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, but the Blue Zones book, that's a book worth reading. That has nothing to do with fasting.
No, but that's when we heard about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think that was the same show. I think
Probably.
They were showing extreme things with, or where the people are living the longest, or what people are doing type deal.
Yeah, it was a longevity show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
But the Blue Zones book, I think everyone should read.
Oh. Yes, that it's an older book now, but my goodness, it's got such good information in it, and it's it's all about people who have made it to 100,
and where these clusters of people, the most densely populated areas in the world of people that have made it to 100, and what they do, what they eat, what their lifestyle is, and what their opinions on that
so much good information in it.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. Blue Zones. We have a few other things to get through today. Just a couple quick ones that I think are really interesting. One is with meniscus therapy, and this one, most people have had someone in their life who has had their meniscus out.
I had two people in my life.
You really did?
Dad and you.
Oh, he had his out too?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Well, the problem with having your meniscus out or tearing your meniscus is that you run a risk of osteoarthritis of the knee later in life. Because now the bones are touching because the meniscus is not there.
Yes, and my grandmother had two knee replacements.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Successful knee replacements.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So the people have been studying this for a long time. What else can we do? Implants are in. Meniscus implants, and I guess they're working really, really well.
Of what?
I don't know what the material is. But yeah, they're doing meniscus implants. And
how? I don't understand.
So what happens is when you tear your meniscus, everyone is a little different. Some people have little tears, some people have big tears, and then there's often some sort of some part of the cartilage will be flapping in the knee, and it can cause the knee to lock up.
Gross.
Well, they go in with the scope and they shave it off, or they take the whole thing out in some cases, and then
I regret asking this question. Continue.
No, I appreciate the question. And then some people will have bone on bone. Well, they're having these new artificial cartilage put in. I don't know if it's being used absolutely yet, but it's coming out very soon.
So would they be attaching it to something, or is it just putting in there to stop the rubbing?
Well, yeah, it'll be in there. It'll be with the bone stitch. Should be stitched, most likely stitched to the bone. I'm not sure exactly what the locking mechanism or the latching mechanism will be, but it'll be very helpful.
Well, I hope it works out for people.
Me too, definitely, because osteoarthritis is probably the biggest part of my practice.
Really?
Especially when it comes to people who are prepping for knee replacement or trying to prolong knee replacement. It's huge.
Really?
The population out there, it's basically, I don't even know the numbers, but the numbers are almost everyone.
So is it from sports injury like you people, or is it just a wearing away?
Both.
No way.
Both, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've got lots of people who are non-athletes who are in line for a knee replacement or just have such bad osteoarthritis that they have knee pain.
I suppose my grandmother wasn't an athlete, but at the same time she was very active, and she used to walk back and forth to work in high heels every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's out there. It's a huge population of people with osteoarthritis.
Really?
Oh yeah, definitely. So this will be helpful in prevention, and I look forward to seeing how it goes.
Yeah, me too.
The final thing we'll end on today is something that this may be a larger topic for a different show, but it's these reports coming out of Silicon Valley with businesses using psychedelics to increase their creativity, to try and bring in more ideas. Specifically, LSD is being used by major companies.
LSD is back.
LSD is in. to try and increase creativity, to try and come up with new business ideas, new ways of doing things. And
I can't even. I can't. It's
quite foolish, but this one business person predicted it last year and then was writing for this business blog I follow today about how it's in and it's being used. And
I just think you're jumping I think that we've had people that we know in our lives that have used ashwagandha, is that how you say? Mm-hmm. To deal with certain things in their life, and it seemed to have worked.
Yeah, it's been deemed quite effective in PTSD.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So that is something. But it has to be... Well, it's like the whole conversation. Like, LSD used to be used as a drug, as a psychotherapy, and used to be, like, in a room, and someone used to stay sober and guide you through it. And it used to be, like, a peaceful... I watched a documentary on it. Mm-hmm. I think Ram Dass was talking about how it's just changed. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not the same.
He was like one of the original champions of it.
Right, but not what it is now.
No,
I mean, it's not something you just pop and. It had like a spiritual, medical purpose, and it was guided, and it was a whole thing. Now, what I witnessed with that seems like useful to me, but what I've seen in real life, LSD use it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. I think I remember the documentary you're talking about, and in terms of the psychotherapy applications that were being used, I think in the 70s, it seemed to be quite effective, and all these academics from Ram Dass was at Harvard, I believe, and his colleague, and they put together this huge program, and it seemed to be going really, really well, and then there was government restriction. Anyways, now it's... You know what Silicon Valley gets like, and people who are trying to do, life hacking and optimal wellness.
Well, they're all trying to be Mark Zuckerberg, and they'll do whatever it takes to be that.
Right.
Have the next idea. But I think, meditating, being creative, going out into nature, getting away from mass media and just people, I think that can bring on creativity just as well.
I absolutely believe so, and that's the final story for today was about Vedic meditation or Vedic meditation, which is a form of, I believe it's the same as transcendental. Other companies are using this. So this is the dichotomy of the situation. Yeah. We've got LSD being used for creativity, and then we've got people who are doing this 20-minute, it's basically a 20-minute mantra meditation, where it's not contemplative, not... not thinking about anything, not dealing with any of your own stuff. It's just taking some sort of passage or something that you find motivating and just repeating it over and over and over and over. And that's being used with great creative potential, basically because you're reducing anxiety, because you're lifting the neurotransmitters that are supportive of positive mood and good memory and all those things. So, I mean...
Some of the best ideas I've ever had for creative ideas for our business or life have been when we have been at a cabin or a float home and there's no internet, there's no cable, and they've just struck like lightning without trying.
Exactly.
I think it was the first vacation we took in how many years when the whole 21-day vegan, we were supposed to be committed to, we promised we were taking like 10 days completely off everything, and we rented a float home, and we were just, in nature, and just one day, like lightning, I was like, we got to do this. Mm-hmm. And we just did it.
Oh, that's the way.
The next few days. I believe in that. I think there's too many negative ramifications that people don't take seriously from LSD. I've seen people that have had, and maybe they had, a I don't know how to say it, but when someone has like a mental illness that hasn't formed yet, I've seen, like, that hasn't shown itself yet.
Right.
I've seen people take LSD, and I know someone that was never the same. And now they're, you know, in a home, and they're my age. It's just really heartbreaking. So it makes you wonder, would that have happened anyway down the road, or did this actually cause this, or was it bad drugs? Like, and you don't know.
No, you don't.
Because it's not like LSD is being properly regulated. You don't know what the heck you're getting.
No, it's so true. So there's this Vedic meditation. There's other forms of meditations. There's nature. There's all these things.
Nature.
And this one meditation I want to bring up because there is some good functional MRI research around it for thinning the amygdala, which is the area of the brain where fear is most dominant. Sensations of fear show up in the amygdala, and then it's been shown to strengthen the hippocampus, where memory and emotional stability is formed. And then it also strengthens the prefrontal cortex, where you do your higher level thinking. So these types of studies are being done on all sorts of different types of meditation, which you can see the business applications of those, where you have of lower fear and higher cognitive ability, higher emotional control. So I mean, so many great options out there. I love it.
Yeah.
That's Healthy Rebel Radio for today. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at damihealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.